You spend a third of your life asleep, but did you know your sleep position could be a window into your deepest self? The way you curl up or sprawl out each night might be broadcasting your personality, emotions, and even your defenses. For centuries, sleep was seen as a biological shutdown, a time when the brain simply powered down. But the 20th century revolutionized this view, revealing sleep as an active process critical for memory and emotional regulation. Yet, the physical position of the sleeper was largely ignored, dismissed as mere comfort. It wasn't until the late 1970s that researchers began asking a deceptively simple question: does how we lie down reflect who we are? This question sits at the intersection of body language, neuroscience, and personality psychology. Body language doesn't turn off when we fall asleep. While voluntary control vanishes, the subconscious mind continues to express itself through the body. The position we assume may be the most honest communication we make all day, unfiltered by social masks or conscious editing. One of the earliest figures to explore this connection was psychiatrist Samuel Dunkel. In his 1977 book Sleep Positions, The Night Language of the Body, he proposed that sleep postures are not random, but are body-mind expressions of our personality and coping mechanisms. He argued that the position we assume upon falling asleep, our primary sleep position, reveals our core character, while positions we shift into during the night reflect our current emotional state or defenses against anxiety. Dunkel's work was based on clinical observation and drew criticism for being overly anecdotal. However, his core insight that sleep positions are psychologically meaningful paved the way for more rigorous investigation. He identified several archetypal positions: the fetus, the log, the yearner, the soldier, the freefall, and the starfish, each corresponding to a distinct personality profile. The fetal position, lying on your side with knees drawn up toward the chest, is the most common sleep posture, adopted by over 40% of people. Dunkel associated it with a tough exterior but a sensitive interior, suggesting shyness, anxiety, and a need for protection. Research partially supports this. A 2012 study in the Journal of Sleep Research found that fetal position sleepers scored higher on neuroticism, a trait linked to anxiety and moodiness. But the same study noted a link to higher conscientiousness, painting a more complex picture. The sleeper may be both emotionally vulnerable and highly self-disciplined. Importantly, this position is also common during stress or illness, aligning with a defensive interpretation. When we feel threatened, we instinctively curl into a protective ball, a primal biological response that shields vital organs and conserves energy. The log position, lying on your side with both arms straight down at your sides, was described by Dunkel as belonging to easygoing, social, and trusting individuals. But more recent research suggests a different interpretation. A 2017 study by sleep researcher Chris Idzikowski found that log sleepers tend to be more rigid in their thinking and less open to new experiences. The straight, symmetrical posture, Idzikowski argued, mirrors a psychological need for order, control, and predictability. This is intriguing because it suggests that a seemingly relaxed position may actually reflect internal tension. The log sleeper is not limp, they are stiff. The arms are held close, as if bracing against the night. This posture may be a physical manifestation of a personality that is socially gregarious but emotionally guarded, a friendly but not intimate individual. The starfish, lying on your back with arms and legs spread out, is one of the least common positions, adopted by only about 5% of people. Dunkel described these individuals as good listeners, helpful, and uncomfortable being the center of attention. But this interpretation has been challenged. A 2015 study in the Journal of Clinical Psychology suggested that starfish sleepers may actually be more extroverted and open to new experiences, but also more prone to seeking attention. The wide, expansive posture physically takes up more space, which can be seen as a sign of confidence or a desire to be noticed. However, it's also a vulnerable position, exposing the chest and abdomen. This contradiction may reflect a personality that craves connection while remaining defenseless, a balancing act between openness and the risk of emotional exposure. Two other positions offer fascinating insights. The yearner, sleeping on your side with arms stretched out in front, is associated with an open, yearning personality, always reaching for something more in life. Dunkel linked this to people who are passionate but may feel unfulfilled. The soldier, lying on your back with arms at your sides, suggests a disciplined, reserved individual who values order and may be overly self-critical. Research indicates that soldiers often have higher levels of perfectionism and anxiety about performance. Both positions share a theme of reaching or holding back. The yearner extends outward, while the soldier remains rigidly contained. These postures may reflect how we handle desires and constraints in our waking lives, revealing a constant tension between what we want and what we allow ourselves to have. It's not just your primary sleep position that matters. The way you shift during the night can be equally telling. Dunkel observed that changes in position often reflect emotional state or defenses against anxiety. For example, someone who starts in the fetal position but later sprawls out may be moving from a defensive to a more relaxed state as they feel safe. Conversely, a starfish sleeper who curls up might be experiencing stress. Modern sleep tracking studies confirm that more frequent position changes are linked to higher levels of anxiety and restlessness. The body is in constant dialogue with the mind, even in sleep. By paying attention to these nightly movements, you can gain insight into your emotional well-being and how you process the events of the day. A subtle, personal language written in the way you rest. If you found this exploration of sleep positions valuable, consider observing your own posture tonight. It might just reveal something you never knew about yourself.